Hello again, friends. Welcome to the second episode of Masquerada. I must apologize because I didn't make any videos in quite a while. The reason of that is because I really don't feel myself good nowadays, but for now on I am ready to continue this journey, me and our friend Tristan Del Sole, through the city of Ombre. So let's continue. Follow our quest line. Okay, so I guess it's point. Okay, we have the information about the Valencia. Let's read it quickly. Let's read it if we will be able to find it. So, yeah. The Valencia. Leading the rank of the portieri is the Valencia. In charge of the training and regimentation of all the portieri, the Valencia is not a figure to be trifled with. Though few outside the registry or even the portieri understand fully the burdens and responsibilities of the Valencia, none in the seat would dare doubt the branding powers of they who held the title. So Valencia is something like the guards here, I guess. We'll see. Supreme guards, maybe. Okay, let's see. So far I cannot interact with all these guys, and I also cannot see the inventory and all the skills of my character, so here we have a choice to learn something more about the world, so let's do
Oh,
that.
would you look at that?
Huh. Elysian stones. I'd have expected the war to curb trade a little.
It did. For about 3 months, until the countries across the belt realized how much they missed our work.
And so they decide to send their traders to a country steeped in civil war.
It isn't that bad. The bloodiest suns have all set. We're just cleaning up what's left of it. In fact, I think in a few years it'll be completely over.
Okay, let's read the lore about that. Functions, history, locations, Elysia. The land of the greatest philosophers, Elysia was the first country from across the belt to trade with Umbra. It was Elysia's influence over the early settlers of Umbra that nourished the sect within the registry known as Vegilus. I hope I pronounce it more or less correctly. Vegilus, the scholars of the city. Elysians pride themselves on their philosophical pursuits, though that seems to have distanced them known from the avarice that Umber tends to inspire. Whatever the case, the city is and will continue to be welcoming of the Elysians' interest in the city. For Elysia is the one country that provides Umber with blood poppy, a flower that yields a brilliant crimson dye with richness found nowhere. Okay,
Let's keep going.
okay, so we have continued the quest line here.
I want it!
We don't care. You're at least a week away from another rotation.
I'm the best firebrand here, and you know it.
Get lost, Travis. You know there's no way you're going to get it.
Were they arguing over a masquerade? Aren't there enough to go around?
The war. Ever since your brother gave out all those masquerades to the mask runners, the death toll on both sides has been great.
And you've been losing masquerades.
So long as they sit upon a dying face, to the dust they go. And now, the city is running out of them. Everyone's feeling it. The guilds, the mask runners, the registry. The Vegelus even suspect that in the next 50 years or so, there'll be fewer than 100 masquerades left.
But there were thousands before. Surely 5 years.
5 years have crippled this country, Cicero. I am sorry. That did not come out as smoothly as I had intended.
Yeah.
You're tired. I understand.
You would, wouldn't you? Well, let's not keep Avestus waiting.
Okay, let's go and meet Avestus. So this is kinda like a market or something. Okay, let's go. The White Spire courtyard. Okay, it looks like some training field, so we can go here and there. So let's start this point. What is it?
What are they up to?
You don't recognize it.
That's...
Gavar's Caprice. I'm surprised it took you so long to spot it.
Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe some piece of information here also. Yeah. Media. Okay, let's read the codex again. The media. That's quite a bit of information. The media are methods practiced by the Masquerada to better harness the powers of the Masquerines. How the media help in the wielding of this power has yet to be fully understood, but it has been determined that though the practice of certain forms of craft, the Masquerade gains the ability to channel their power with more finesse and precision. The elements bend more precisely to the will of a Masquerada, well practiced in the media. There are for these days 7 known media, 6 of which have been classified into pairs. There prevails the belief that according to the patterns of the media, there must exist an eighth as well, though the Vigilus, I'm sorry, I don't really remember how to read this word, have been unable to ascertain either its presence or its nature. The various media in their pairs are the Physea, Medanza and Merobusto, the Visiva, Meleare and Messiniare, the Eterea, Mecantare e Meromento, Messenza, that currently exists alone. Okay. Very, very interesting, but I'm not sure that I understand what's going on here. Okay. Let's go further and see. Okay, another piece of information here. The White Spire. The White Spire. Sitting at the highest point of the seat, the White Spire has a view that covers all of its charge. It is the pinnacle of the registry's authority, the embodiment of its role as guardian and caretaker of Ombre. So, registry is an authority here. Certainly, there are many in these days that disagree with registry's method and dispute their efficacy, but the fact remains that the registry stands to watch over us all. Built upon the ancient ruins of some long-forgotten towers, the White Spire was constructed in a matter of days, record time, even with the help of Earthbrands. The construction of the spires served not only to establish quickly a base of operation for the registry, but to remind the citizens that it governed, that it had the capability and power, and was willing to use it to perform such a feat. Okay. Okay, let's quickly see what's going on here. I really enjoy the graphic in this game. It's kinda simple, but it's really cute, really cute and flash and so colorful. So really, oh, we have a little cat here. Okay, let's let's go to the point and see what is it. The white spire conquers the registry again. Okay. Oh la la. Let's read all this piece of information. Once we had been called heretics. We were cast out from our lands, deracinated, labeled traitors and blasphemers. We were the other, the alien, the outcast, yet we were but individuals. We were of many, but we were of no banner. We had myriad voices, but no clarion to lead us. We were scattered and we walked blinded by a full light. But now we had begun to weave the tapestry that will bind us, begun to cultivate the soils that are to serve as the base of our civilization, a new civilization that will reap the yokes of our heritage off our backs and bury them underfoot. We are a new people of a new nation now, and we will relish this freedom with guiltless ecstasy. We are our own leaders. Our laws will be fashioned under the hammers of our wills, and not by divine words. Our mores will be shaped by sophists and sages, and not by priests and prophets. We are united now. We are people. An excerpt from the speech delivered by the very first Baron Ormeus Frigius, Ormeus Frigius, at the founding of the registry during the 10th measure of uh, the first canticle. Okay, that was some time ago. A vast majority of Omber takes the registry, the country's government, for granted. And I'm not saying that simply because I am, or at least was, a member of it. The registry's duty is the seat aren't in the seat aren't all encompassing. Many of the seat cocks are kept turning by the Seimora, uh, which has led to the proliferation of the opinion that they are responsible for little. This, however, is inaccurate. The modern Umbrian simply does not see the waves that the registry makes, or the forces that it reckons with. A main responsibility of the registry is handling international affairs to any one of the streets of Umber. That concept might ring foreign. It is easy to forget living in the city that there exists an entire world out there, with other peoples and other nations and other societies. We are too concerned with surviving to think of the world across the Midnight Belt or beyond the echoing plains. Unfortunately, the reverse cannot be said. Cannot be said. Ombre, with its military power and flourishing cultural and economic landscapes, is a land upon which many other countries gaze. These gaze are often awesome in nature, but it is easy for admiration to turn into lust. The registry has concocted concocted a great many ways to handle any international relations that begin to sour, the list of which is too long to go into detail, and these measures have allowed the tiny country to survive. Okay, okay. So we are in the middle
Any idea
of some
why the
political
old man
tension.
wants to see me?
Not a very solid one. One of the Regenti has gone missing. And,
And
and these walls should not be privy to this conversation.
Let's listen to the conversation. Okay, it's finished. Okay. Okay, can we just look here for a while to see what's here? This guy has a fancy armor. And here I suppose it's a dead end too. Okay. Let's continue. This guy looks a little bit like the one from Dark Souls. I don't really remember his names, but you know, with this ridiculous big helmet. Okay, so we're supposed to go here. Okay. We have seen this place during the tutorial. The White Spire upper hallway. Hello.
Here we are.
Tell me he's changed, at least a little.
Have fun finding out.
Okay. So we're about to face the authority in this place. Oh. Hello, sir.
In all the 20 years that I have spent perched upon the spire, not once have I seen my city so broken.
Tristan was telling me the war's almost over.
Over? When does a war end? When the trumpets of peace sound? When the mask runners are dead in the gutter? No. It ends when it ceases to echo through every street, or shadow every face. It is over when the halls that it has emptied fill once again. This war is far from over. I trust the past 5
Okay,
years have
that
treated you
was-
well?
They've been kind.
Kind. Is that what you call those years you spent throwing all your coin at barkeeps, fleeing the grip of sobriety?
How?
The Cavalli Fields may be located across the belt, but it's still within the Registry's vigil.
And so is plagued by your rats. Why am I here?
The answer is all around you. You've been to the docks. You've walked through the grounds. How many portieri enjoy the company of Masquerades?
Tristan told me. The city's losing too many of them.
We must learn the secrets of the Masquerades. Learn how to stop them from disintegrating upon their wearer's death.
This is a job better suited for the Vigilus.
Widen your mind, Cicero. You think I called you here to bury your nose in dusty tomes?
Okay.
You are not the first that I've spoken to of these matters. A regente of mine was tasked 3 months ago to explore the annals we have on Masquerades. You are here to find him.
How long's he been missing?
Okay.
He missed sending in his last report due 20 days ago.
And you've sent no one else?
Ophina and Corvus were sent to investigate.
What did they find?
That their songs were shorter than they expected.
Both of them.
Ophina was found hanging in her room, hands tied, wrists slit. Corvus's body was not so fortunate. Whoever it was had resources, wit, knowledge, finesse. It's a pity the two before you managed to find nothing apart from their own deaths.
So you called me back to feed me to the dogs?
No, I called you back to find my regente. If the canines come at you while you're at it, well,
You're a fool if you think I'll do this.
I'll think much more than that if you turn away. Especially if you read the case notes. You might find the name of my regente interesting.
Okay.
Razatov.
You two were acquainted, were you not?
Anything else?
Only that you are to breathe no word whatsoever to anyone else regarding this case. Everything else you need is in those notes. Arm yourself in the Hall of Bearings, then see what you can find. His office in the East Wing is probably a good place to start. That is all.
Okay. Okay, so we have an answer why we are here. But I'm curious whether these notes we can read them anywhere. Okay, let's first read about the main guy. Avestus Alearme. There are few as calculative as Avestus Alearme? Certainly, I do not look to him to learn anything regarding matters of ethics or of the heart. But when it comes to being efficient and objective, I consider him a master. I would like to say that he hasn't always been this way, and then I would proceed to tell you of a tragic tale that made his heart so callous. But to do so would require me to fabricate a lie. For all the time I have known him, which amounts to a fair bit, he has always put the welfare of the seat and the registry above everything else, his personal affairs included. Yes, there is certainly something about his doggedness to be admired, but I do wonder how much it's cost him. I know he has given up much, but on the outside he shows little remorse or regret. How much that is true on the inside, however, I have not gleaned. Okay, we have um, we have the information. I guess we read this all, but let's go quickly through the role. Okay. Okay, so far there is nothing about this journal or reports. Okay, let's see what it is. The Varone. The Varone of Ombre is perhaps the most famous, if not respected figure in the nation. As the leader of the registry, with an abode sitting at the top of the White Spire, the entire city falls under their gaze. The influence that Avarone had over the city was, in the time past, unparalleled. But with the rise to power of the guilds, that influence that influence has begun to wane somewhat. Okay, so this guy, I suppose he's a Varone. Okay, let's go and arm ourselves. How we have been told. Okay, new chapter reached. And finally we have our journal. Oh la la, that's much text to read. But let's start it. Missing persons investigation. Name of subject: Razitov Azrus, 39 years old. Occupation: Regenti. Date of report: 29th Pika 407 IL. No idea what's IL. Inspector attached. Ofina Triana. Details. On the 39th of Rubida 407, Regenti Razitov Azrus was tasked with elucidating the methods through which masquerades were created. He was appointed this task by Varon Avestus Alarm. So yes, this guy is the Varon. Vaurone. I don't know. I guess it's Vaurone. On the 43rd of Rubida, he submitted his first update to the Varon concerning his findings. In it, he writes that he believed that for something as core to the Dimenticate civilization as masquerades, there must be anthropological evidence regarding their existence and creation that he can find through detailed study of Dimenticate history. He continues on writing that a visit to the Conoscenza must be paid. He is sure to find what he needs there. A lost sheet found within his reports reveals what specially he was in search for. Books that talk about the Dimenticate and power, about wielding immense power, creating power, using it to expand, or anything that even remotely smacks of strength or supremacy. These are good places to start. I will hit to the Consenza tomorrow to speak to Kairi. The next date of update 30th Ika. Kairi has said that Razitov never approached her for assistance. None of the Vegulus that I've spoken to have seen him around in the past month. He must have either done his work in secrecy or never followed up on his original plan. Tomorrow I intend on returning to Conoscenza. Following his leads will bring me closer to its current whereabouts, I am certain. The next date of update, 38 speaking. Note, the investigation has been handed over to Inspectore Corvus Gividus. Inspectore Offina's corpse was found in her room at approximately dusk on the 33rd of Picca. The investigation has taken a darker turn. Ages forbid, and it is growing steadily. Avestus has told me to focus on Razitov and to do so quietly. Whoever did that to Ofina is still out there. I do not know how well I will sleep at night, knowing these halls are not safe. But the Varone has reminded me that if someone was out to stop us from finding Razitov, it must mean that he knows something. Avestus believes that finding the Regenti is of higher priority than identifying Ofina's murder. And if I can find both along the way, that would be ideal. But I will be the first to admit that I might have been putting waters too deep for me. I have spoken to Lucia and warned her about the treachery. If Ofina was a target, then none of us are safe. Darius, Pasha, and Turiba aren't in the seat and at the moment, and for their sakes I'm glad. Damn it. Where is Cicero when you need him? No matter, I must focus. Tomorrow I'll check Rositov's office. I think it's a prudent place to begin. At least it isn't in my poor friend's blood footprints. I hope she gets a good song. Okay, the next upgrade, the 39th speaker. Nothing. His office clearly doubled as his living quarters. He would hold himself up in there for quite some time, or at least had planned to, but there is nothing amiss. But then again, something didn't quite feel right when I was in there. In fact, something hasn't quite felt right since I started this investigation. Silent songs, the others always mocked my superstitious ways, but how can I deny a feeling too? A feeling so strong. I cannot put my fingers on it, but I can swear by the edges that I am being watched. If anything is to happen to me, and if this case somehow falls into someone else's hands, know that I advise caution, Lucia. If that next person is you, songs, get out of here while you still can. Tomorrow, I plan to figure out what it is exactly that has been causing the hairs on my neck to rise. Once I deal with that, I believe I'll be able to better focus on the task at hand. Okay, next update, the 41st. The remains of Inspector Corvus' body have been found in his personal residence in the dim way. The investigation is pending action. Okay, the next note, 30 second, 40 second. A letter has been sent to the Kevale Fields, summoning former Inspectore Cicero Gavar back to Ombre. Okay, and the last one, the third, Scandera. The investigation has been handed over to former Inspector Cicero Gavar. Okay. Okay, friends, let's continue to the Armin Hall, I suppose. We'll see.
Survived the trial, I see.
Barely. The bastard's still as oily as ever.
Careful. Walls have ears. So, was I right?
This is about the Regenti that's gone missing. Razatov.
That's the one? Didn't he...
Saved my life. Yes. Avestus used that against me.
So now you're on the case too.
Any advice then?
Just... try not to die. We've lost enough Inspectores as is.
You can bet on that. Now, I need to read these notes first. Then to the Hall of Bearings for a masquerine. Still have time to accompany an old friend?
Why not?
Okay. Okay, Razitov Azrus. Let's read about him. Okay, that's quite a bit of a text. Okay. Never in my wildest imagination had I ever thought that my relationship with this bespectacled friend of mine would turn out the way it did. Quiet and reserved, Razitov and I had first met in Conoscenza while I had been preparing for the dreadful accredita in a sense. God, I would love if they put notes for each of these terms. Uh, is my least favorite of all the media. Most things I've learned on the streets, not between the pages of a book. Razitov, however, was quite the opposite. A lover of histories and theorems. Initially could not stand his presence. I initially couldn't stand his presence. Facts and postulations seemed to bleed forth from every inch of his being, from his head right down to the ends of his boots. He had seen me struggling with the calculus section of the paper I had been working on in one of the deeper and more isolated sections of the Conoscenza. I was attempting to at least, for my accreditia the following day, and he could not barely keep it to himself. You need to use Radoric's theorem for that. His voice was thin, reed-like, and left the silence of the Conoscenza quite untouched. "Excuse me," I said, turning to my left, where he sat. The image to these days I recall with perfection. A soft hat far too large for his head, small spectacles perched atop a thin nose. He pulled back slightly. Perhaps I had spoken too loudly, offended the silence that he might have found sacred. He said, even softer than before, Roderick theorem. Roderick theorem. What did he think I was what did he think I was a scholar? Here, he said, inching a little closer before coming to a stop. He held out his hand. It quivered a little. "If I may." "Be my guest," I said, pushing over my gill and my papers to him. "Now," he said, and he began to explain the process to solve the question. I couldn't repeat the steps to you if I tried, but enough of that the technique stayed in my mind, and I passed the section of the Accreditia the day after. What surprised me even more, though, was though that he would come for the ceremony that evening. He sought me out. He sought me out after it ended. Cicero, he said, he would said from behind. He had said, just as I was leaving the hall, I turned and recognized him immediately. Razitov, what are you doing here? Well, I came to see how you did. He replied as he wrung his hands. I found that curious. Why would he care? I did fine. I passed. I replied, still somewhat weary. What did he want from me? Oh, he said, as he breathed out, clearly relieved. Excellent news, just excellent. Why? I asked, following. Why excellent? Why not? I was hoping you would do well, see? I know it might sound selfish, but I was hoping that I would be a good enough tutor last night, and here you are, passing. I was so worried about you when you told me your accreditation was today, with your calculus at the standard. Ages, did you need help? Uh, all right. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired reading it all. And now you have done fantastic. I knew you could do it. I just did. And that was the moment that I began to believe that beneath the blustering exterior, behind all those books and theorems and ideas lay a heart among the most sincere I would come to know. And that belief has been proven true time and time again. And now he's missing. Now, for perhaps the first time in my life, I'm in a position to help him and not the other way around. I have to find him. Okay. So we have to go and arm ourselves now. To the armory or something, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's go back.
My brother is missing. At least let me speak to the Valencio.
Your color isn't welcome here.
A member of the Blue Guild. Here.
A curious sight indeed. You can take care of yourself?
I'm not a child, Tristan.
Really?
Get out.
Okay, let's speak with this guy, with his brother. Oh no, I'm going to do so. Let's read the point of... let's read the piece of information here. The Seimora and guild politics. The 6 guilds of Ombre are collectively known as the Seimora, and they comprise the Sorel del Mare, the Lucca Infiniata, the Laborious Soils, the Altus Nobilis, the Diesis Sovrani, and the Cacciatore, I don't know. Though these are certainly by no means the only guilds the city has ever known, they are the only ones that have withstood the written test of time, and together with the registry make up all of the Masquerada of the city. Despite their commonality in possessing masquerades, however, the Simeora are rife with disagreement, and the politics that course between them are too far convoluted to spell out simply. Suffice to say, it is nearly impossible to bring all of the Seymour together in a single room without having them at each other's throats. Okay. Okay, no, we have to go here. See. The Hall, the Hall of Bearing. The Hall of Bearing. After the registry began recognizing the guilds of Ombre and established the rules of their relationship, its collection of masquerades grew steadily. For a long time, these masquerades that had been paid to the registry as tribute from the guilds had been stored in various caches all over the city. When the Pale Isle was claimed and the White Spire built, the masquerades were transported to a hall that the registry had constructed specially for the storage of the masquerades, the Hall of Bearing. So I suppose here we are going to have the masquerade. Okay.
Inspectore,
At ease.
I was not told to expect you, sir.
I don't suppose you were. But here I am. And I need a masquerade.
Right this way, sir.
Okay. So indeed
I
we are
do
going to
apologize
have
in advance.
masquerade.
Our selection of masquerades has diminished since the war began.
It's all right. I'm not picky.
Okay, so maybe it's some kind of character creation. Let's see.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'd like a masquerade now, please.
All right. First things first. Your element, sir.
If only I knew.
What are you doing?
Sir?
What? I apologize. What was the question?
Your element.
Right. Of course.
So here we are in the character creation. So we have 4 elements. Let's see what they are. We have the glyphs to burn and smelt, to set aflame fires for his glory, and shape the soils to rise the earth to feed our strength and fashion temples. And seas will roar and clouds will cry, and cry not for broken heart but it pay obeisance. And the winds will carry out tales through lands to hearts of foes to spread his reign. Okay, and there are no explanation to this, so I really have no idea what I'm supposed to choose here and how it will affect my character. So I don't know. Let's go with the water. Oh yes, here's the explanation. Okay, let's start to read from the fires. The firebrands of Ombre tread the line between blazing brightly and burning out. Their unmatched inclination towards destruction often leaves them the target of many foes' offense. But the best firebrands have learned how to draw strength from the maelstrom of chaos around them. So it's more like an offensive class or something. Let's read this. The ubiquity of stone and soil lends itself favorably to the Earthbrand's abilities by allowing them to mold the landscape upon which many a conflict is set, though the creation of hazardous areas of the battlefield. Earthbrands have unrivaled manipulation of the flow of any battle. Okay. With versatile abilities suited for any scenario, the strength of waterbrands lies in their fluid adaptability and potential to shift the tides of battle in myriad ways. One moment a waterbrand could be bolstering their allies, and the next summoning spikes of ice to impale their foes. I see. It's maybe more like magical thing to have. Like the very wine that bends to their will, the position of an airbrand in the midst of a battle is unpredictable. Those who dance on gales and bend the breezes are constantly in motion and are armed with abilities that cripple and displace those who attempt to obstruct their currents. Okay, I really don't know, but maybe I will for now go for airs and I will see how it goes. I'm not sure whether I can switch to any other element later, uh, but okay, let's. You are sure you want to select this element? Well, no, but okay, let's do that.
I'm an Earthbrand.
And the last time you used a masquerade?
5 years.
Vamus tests?
Distinctions.
Accreditor?
60th percentile. Explains why I didn't turn out to be one of the Vegelers.
All right, sir. It'll take me no more than a heartbeat.
Okay.
You need the Masquerade, Cicero. You're its custodian, and you're an imposter. Going around with that stupid cape of yours? Have you forgotten where your loyalty lies?
Are you almost done, Valis?
Just finished, sir.
You don't know what you've started, brother. Change, that's what. Change for the Contadani, our people.
Here it is, sir.
Come with me. Come with me, Cicero.
Okay.
No.
Sir?
Thank you, Valis.
So we didn't follow our brother into the midst of the revolution. Okay, Masquerade obtained 2 skill points. Okay, so finally we have like masks and skills. Party behavior, but we don't have a party. Okay, let's see. What is it? So we can have many different masks. Cicero casts a 15 meters wide aura that lasts for 10 seconds. Enemy within the aura have their attack and movement speed reduced by 25%. I guess this is affected by the earthworm element, by the element of the earth. Is that so? Strikes. Okay. Okay, so this is it, and Earthworm Blade. Okay, good. Okay, we don't have any party members. And we have skills. Okay. Cicero Gavra skills. We have Earthworm Blade, have Maestro, Dust Devil, and we can... Oh, that's quite a challenge. Okay, so what is Maestro? Cicero gains 2% focus, health and mask charge regeneration boost. He also gains a 3% attack speed boost, movement speed boost, damage boost, skill cooldown, and damage reduction. Okay. We have an Earthworm Blade. So, and this is it's Maestro Contour. Okay. We have this Earthworm branch of development. Here we have Taunt. Whenever a non-Earth elemental tag is activated, the target will be forced to attack Cicero for 3 seconds. Okay, so with this Earthworm sign we are supposed to be in the first line of the battle, like really sturdy character. Whenever an Earth attack is activated, Cicero recovers 30% of his maximum focus and mask charge. Okay, that's insane. Increase strike range, signature strike. Okay. We have Dust Devil. Causes the ground to shake, dealing 30 damage to all enemies within 8 meters. Thereafter, three twisters appear for 5 seconds, which deal 4 damage per second to enemies. These skills generates more threat than usual. Okay, Evan Song. Conjures a pool of mud at the target location. All enemies within 5 meters move and turn 20% slower and take 5 damage per second for 5 seconds. Okay. We have War Chant. Okay, we have also enemies receive an air stack. Increases twister duration for 3 seconds. Okay, War Chant. Increase damage by 1 per second. Allies in the multiple gain 20%, 25% more attack and cast speed. Okay. Fisher. Perform a series of successive attack at the caster. Charges forward in 2 seconds, dealing 35 base damage to all elements in their path. Dealing 35 base damage to all. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll read it again. Perform a series of successive as the charger as the caster charges forward in 2 seconds, dealing 35 base damage to all the enemies in their path. That seems to be a good thing to begin the battle. And landslide attack knocks the enemy back. I really like this thing. Molten Wake. The caster leads a trail of fiery airs behind that deals 5 damage per second for 5 seconds to all enemies that touch it. Flint Bolt. Throw a piece of sharp flint that pierces through multiple enemies, dealing 40 damage to each enemy. That's very powerful thing. Enemies receive an stack. Enemies deal damage this way. Suffer 8 bleed damage for per second for 5 seconds. Okay. Mud Drake. Summons up to 2 indestructible mud spewing mud drakes at the target location for 10 seconds. Mud drakes attack for 5 damage. Okay, that's a conjugation. Tremor. Channels a powerful quake that deals 15 base damage per second for 5 seconds to all enemies within 5 meters. This skill generates more threat than usual. What is threat? Okay, I cannot read it. Okay, I cannot mask charge. What is this? Disable a control mask charge. Okay, let's go with have mask and party behavior. Okay. So, what I am supposed to pick here? Let's read a little bit about the master skill. Increase damage by 10 when there are no allies within 4 meters. Tacticians alone. So this is like a passive skill tree. Change the stance gains more mask ultimate when mask charge is spent, and Cicero gain Dirge, Pavisia and Sicario bases. Mask charge regeneration regardless of his current stance. Okay. Okay, don't. Okay. I'm inclined to go with this thing. Performs a series of successive attacks as the caster charges forward in 2 seconds, dealing 35 base damage in their path. So how do I... Okay, I'm doing that and I have... But... Okay, skill points are spent now, so I have skill points remaining 0. Okay, so we have this skill. Alright. Oh, because... Okay, I cannot take it back, but alright, I see that the skill is 2. So that explains why I don't have another skill to change, to choose. Okay, let's close it. So, at this point, I will stop the video. I hope I will feel myself alright in the days to come to make more videos about this game and the Tyranny Let's Play, which I'm doing at the same moment. So, thank you all for watching. I see you next time. Bye bye.